Hello and greetings to all. I haven't posted in a while, so I decided to put together this video to commence a new series which discusses the similarities among various solar deities and culture heroes from different parts of the world. For instance, we of course have Huitzilopochtli, of whom I've spoken extensively, who is the culture hero of the Mexicans, since he did guide the so-called Aztecs through their southward migration to Tenochtitlan, but of course elsewhere in different cultures and different religions even, we do have other similar solar deities. And of course I'm employing the term loosely, since at least in the Anahuaca, ancient indigenous Mexican and American worldviews, these concepts were a bit more complex than the old world rendition of worship and servitude. I came across this image, which is said to be Horus defeating Set. There are some constant elements in the symbology, employing the wings, feathers, and of course the avian characteristics, in this case the head of a bird. So make note of that. Then we have Michael the Archangel, and I'm sorry about the glare, and I did drop my phone and I refused to buy one to kind of punish myself. But we have Michael the Archangel. Of course, you can look up these images. He is defeating the ancient serpent, as he does in the book of Revelation. Again, an angel, a winged creature. Then we have Apollo. This one's a little hard to see, but again, you can pull up Apollo defeating the python, which is also a serpent. As you can see, he has his bow and arrow, and there's the python about to be eliminated. Again, going back to the avian characteristics, there's the feathers, the wings, of course, the bird-like characteristics. In the case of Horus, it's reminiscent of Huitzilopochtli, who actually has a hummingbird headdress. This is indicative of a flight, of a higher nature, of aspiring higher ground, just like a bird. And then when applying it to similar concepts, such as the concept of Quetzalcoatl, we are able to confront the dual nature of man. The Quetzal, which is a higher aspiration, and of course the Coatl, which is a lower nature, that both comprise the dual nature of man. To a lot of people, serpents might be representative of evil and maybe even self-indulgence, but you can't have one without the other. For even though the serpent drags itself around the earth, there is a certain function to serpents, and they are not harbingers of evil as we've been taught through the Western thought. And there's also, when we consider Coatlicue, of whom I've also spoken extensively, there's also a very strong serpentine symbology from the skirt of serpents, which is also below the waist, lower nature. And of course, in some reliefs there are dual serpent heads, which make up her head. And then there's a bundle of feathers, the gift from divinity, which allow her to become with child, with Huitzilopochtli, a solar deity that was to introduce a fight against all of our vices through the very own willpower, that spark of consciousness that I've referred to in previous videos. Now, my goal through these videos is not to syncretize everything and just blend it all together, because the New Age is already doing plenty of that, and it is a great disservice and even irreverence to just tie it all in and not taking a moment to acknowledge these cultural gems that belong to the respective peoples. So I do not intend to blend it all together, as is a very common practice among New Agers. Moreover, I intend to draw upon the similarities. You can come from the Greek pantheon, Apollo. You can come from the Judeo-Christian worldview, Jesus, who is also said to be a solar deity. Hello, Halo. You can come from the Mexica pantheon, of course, also employing that term loosely. And even Catholicism, or Michael the Archangel is said to predate Judeo-Christianity. There's also some mention that he may have been adapted from the Egyptian concept of Horus defeating Set, the serpent, the lower nature once again. But yet still harmonize and find a common ground with one another, and not necessarily impose your beliefs or your thoughts upon anybody else, but moreover, find similarities and common ground in a world that is in desperate and ardent need of some sort of harmony and peacekeeping. I will continue these videos because I do want to focus in, for example, in the similarities between Apollo and Michael the Archangel. There are so many other beings, which pretty much share characteristics in their respective worldview, and are interpreted by their respective cultural adherents as such. So I will continue the series. Stay tuned, like, comment, and share.